Welcome to the Dirty Post Podcast. Y'all couldn't even hear that. That's on me. Messed up my own intro. Let's get it popping.
Which opens up another possibility that the Democrats will kill him. I think that's a genuine possibility. I think both candidates are in mortal danger from Democrats, because Democrats know they need to get rid of Biden one way or the other, and probably wouldn't care if they had to kill him. And they also know they don't want Trump. So they're looking at Trump's potential VP. We'll talk about it in a little bit. So I think Biden has some risk of being assassinated by his own side, because it's the only way they can get past Trump. It's possible. Let me say that the odds of Biden passing away before the end of August, probably a solid 20% at this point. It's not likely, but I'll bet it's at least 20, which opens.
Whew. All right, man. So, as we know, Trump got shot yesterday. First of all, man, welcome to the Dirty Post Podcast. I appreciate y'all being here, man. I know there's a lot of things going on, man. A lot of content y'all could be watching, man. I appreciate y'all being here with me. I have a theory. Really. I have a theory on what all of this is really about. I don't want to talk so much about the shooting. I want to talk about why Trump is so hated. And I believe it comes from the Hillary Obama deal that they made with the devil. Whoever the devil is, whoever you think it is. I want to slow walk y'all with something, because let me make sure I got this in order. I'm pretty sure I do. Okay, so there are conflated ideas of what's going on out here in these streets.
Here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption.
Once I push pause, you don't pause. Ain't that something? All right, so I don't know if you guys know who this is, but there's a guy by the name of Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab has an idea about by 2030 bringing in a new world order. Klaus Schwab also wants the new world order to be run by women and gays. He won't say this here. I can't find the clip that I had. It's on Rumble somewhere. But he was talking about how women and intersectional people should be the leaders of the new regime, because people will own nothing and be happy, right? But let's Schwab talking his own voice.
The fourth industrial revolution is a combination of technological breakthroughs which will completely change business models, society, economies. Fourth industrial revolution is coming with enormous speed and will change not only what we are doing, but who we are.
The fourth industrial revolution, he's talking about AI and things of that nature, by the way, just to give you, because they try to conflate it, but y'all know what AI is. Y'all see it coming. Automated services, machines that cook hamburgers for you, and they just send them down an assembly line, stuff like that. Okay.
The world will grow more together in the digital age. We are becoming more interdependent. We will have not less, we will have more globalization. But the question is, how do we master and how do we construct this new type of globalization? I call it globalization 4.0. It's a poison for society. We cannot leave people behind. We have to make everything to ensure social cohesion of a society, because social cohesion is the prerequisite for a democratically functioning country.
I want you to understand what they mean by, I want to bring that economic inequality. I want you to guys to understand that's what they mean about you own nothing and be happy. The only way you can be equal is if everybody is equally has nothing. Because once you have something that somebody else doesn't have, that's an inequality, right? Which means that your talent, your resilience, your intellectual property, all of those things will belong to the state. For those who have ever been in jail, I've been to the county a couple of times. When you go to jail, especially prison, I've never been to prison, but when you go to prison, you're a property of the state. So everything that you do becomes property of the state. You know how I found that out? There was a I should show y'all the cards. There was a very talented young gentleman who made greeting cards. His sister reached out to me, was like, "Yo, I know you do publishing. Could you publish my I gotta use a voice.
Could you publish my brother's greeting cards? He want his own line. I know you could do it, but he in jail. So if he do it in jail, they take all the money because he property of the state. So anything he makes becomes property of the state."
Which is absolutely true. You know what I mean? So think about that. If you write a book in jail, get a signing bonus in jail, your signing bonus belongs to jail. If you earn money and you make more than $3,500 on your books, you have to pay rent in jail. You own nothing. So people who are indigent in jail and get $20 a month or 30, whatever it is they get, they have the same equality as a person who grandma loved them and send them $20 a week or $100 a month or whatever the case may be. You will own nothing and be happy because everybody else has nothing too. Klaus Schwab is trying to make it sound good to be poor, but everybody not gonna be poor because somebody got to run the masses, right? The state has to run the masses, right? So now he's talking about a global superior class, 1% of the 1% that rules everybody. And the problem with that is all these motherfuckers is dumb. They just dumb as shit, man. Now, with that plan that he has to have the new world order by 2030, that plan had been put on the books, starting with Clinton, but Clinton did the deregulation, so that was a different thing. But it allowed huge companies to form because there used to be monopoly laws. So that's why AT&T broke up, right? So you had somebody like AT&T and they have to sell a long distance carrier. So that's where Sprint came from, and MCI WorldCom, which no longer exists, but that's where they came from. Sprint used to just only do long distance calls. So AT&T would be your local, and then Sprint would be your long distance. MCI was another one. Tele something, which became T-Mobile, Tele TNT or TCT or something like that, which became T-Mobile. That was a long distance carrier. They had to break it up. The same thing with U.S. Oil or Standard Oil, right? That's how you had Mobil and Amoco and all that. They had to split up. So what Clinton did is allow all of those companies to become a monopoly again, to be able to buy out the little guy and become a monopoly again. That kind of slowed down under Bush Jr., Bush W, right? W. Then here comes Obama. Obama opens the floodgates. Obama opened up the borders. Obama brought gay marriage to the table. Obama brought gay exposure to the table. Hate crimes against gays. The Dream Act for Mexicans to be able to come over here, and even if they come over here illegally, they can become legal if they take a test. Like, they don't get deported. Obama opened up our borders, man. He did that shit. Hillary Clinton was supposed to finish the deal, but she didn't because Trump got in. Shout out to that. And Trump is not a globalist. Trump is a nationalist. So since he's a nationalist, he's like America first. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because think they're American. I don't know what the fuck they think they are. They never been to Africa, but they think they African or some shit. But America first, right? The opportunities in America. So he came out with Agenda 47. Now we're gonna do a whole series. Me and Loke. We're gonna do a whole series about Project 2025. But what Trump has at Agenda 47. Let's listen to him in his own words about what it's about.
The deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe.
He's right about that. Real quick, when he's talking about rooting out the bad agents and the agency, it was once said, this was like during the Clinton's second term. So this was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It was once said that upwards of 25% of the people that work in our national agencies, our security, the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, to a lesser extent the FBI, are foreign operatives. They're spies for Russia, China, everywhere else, right? Upwards of 25%. So imagine you go to work and 1 out of 4 of your co-workers are plotting to take down your company. It's just crazy. And I know it went even crazier with Obama. I know it did. You can't make me believe nothing different. So I understand what he's saying. I just want y'all to understand, because you think he's persecuting because they against him. I mean, but the same security agency got him shot in the ear yesterday. So I mean, how good could they be, right? But let's continue.
Even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption, and there are plenty of them. Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy.
Let me pause on that one real quick. And yeah, Facebacks, I saw that. He's talking about getting rid of the people who give information to the media, so they can do quote unquote fake news. All the news right now is propaganda. There is no honest. It's not like back in the day when they gave you the stock report, told you sports, what the weather's gonna be, and then they gave you facts and let you make your own discernment. Now everything leans left, except Fox News, which leans right. But the fact that people say it leans right is because everything else leans left. So it's all propaganda. Eric Snowden is still not home. Y'all know that, right? Eric Snowden is still not home. When he blew the whistle about the Homeland Security Act and how they had every photo you've ever taken, all your coochie pics is in a database in Arlington, Virginia. Every call you make, ever since they turned everything from analog to digital, and then did the what did I just say it? The Patriot Act, which was part of the Homeland Security Agency. When they did the Patriot Act, the feds got everything. Unless you talking to somebody face to face and you know your phone off, bro. And sometimes your phone ain't off, because y'all done seen Google, you having a conversation with somebody. Get on your phone, they got an ad for the thing you was just telling your friend about. Like, yo, man, I'm thinking about getting me a back massager. You just talking to your friend face to face. Go on your phone. Timu has back massages for 12 cents. Like, Eric Snowden still isn't home. He's still living in Russia. He's lived in a Russia, the in the Kremlin. Is it the Kremlin? I think they moved him to a hotel, but he still can't come home. It's been 12 years, and he's still trying to come home. So, cracking down on people who leak information to the press, cracking down on the collection of private information to be used later to be weaponized, right? Almost see yourself as a rapper. How these rappers go into court, and then when they get to court, the prosecutor plays their rap song in court, like, I'll kill a nigga, shoot a nigga, and you fighting a murder, and they try to use that as evidence because you went to the studio and made a song. Imagine, no matter what you're doing, like, because everything's illegal. There's a law for everything. Thanks to these liberals, there's a law for everything. There's a law in the west side of Chicago, in a city called Cicero. There's a law that you can't fly a kite on Sunday. So if you go to the park on Sunday with your son and fly a kite, you could be arrested. There's a law for everything. Imagine they take all the data, all the things you said, all the times you said fuck Trump or I ain't dealing with that girl or whatever the case may be, and they compile a case on you. That's Gestapo shit. He's trying to stop Gestapo shit. And I roll with that. I support that. But they need all that information on you. They need all that blackmail on you in order to create a new world order. So everything he's saying is anti what Klaus Schwab and his regime is talking about. It's almost over.
When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee, so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really.
Let me pause that right there. I've done a show about embassies before. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Y'all can look it up. When I went to D.C., Georgetown in particular, that's when I found out about them diplomatic place. Shout out to Diplomatic Place, bro. I remember asking the girl I was with, I was like, yo, rah-rah, why these places just got 2 letters on it? She was like, them Diplomatic Place. You can't get arrested. They can't pull you over. I'm like, yo, I need some Diplomatic Place, my nigga. I ain't playing. In order to have an embassy anywhere, the embassy that you're at is the sovereign land of your nation. It doesn't matter if it's only 1,000 feet, which is generally speaking how big a single family home is. They have embassies that are literally, there's a block in Georgetown full of 2 flat residential homes, right? Just a bunch of 2 flats, right? What y'all call them in New York, brownstones? A bunch of 2 flat brownstones. Every single 2 flat brownstone on that block has a different nation's flag on its porch, which is the sovereign land for that nation, right? Like, it's almost like playing tag, right? Like, if you do some bullshit, if you make it back to your embassy, that's like hitting goose. Like, yo, you can't tag me now. It's that serious. Like, you would have to invade a foreign nation to go into that 2 flat brownstone in Georgetown. It's that serious. Because all of those people are down there, and because they're neighbors, and because America's such a melting pot, so you're shaking hands and rubbing shoulders with not only politicians, lawyers, um, security. A lot of times you go to the same restaurant, so you may just overhear a conversation or meet somebody, which is how you get Pizzagate. But we can't talk about Pizzagate. Can't talk about Pizzagate. But you get a slice of pizza type of thing. I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, so what Trump wants to do is move agencies that has nothing to do with the running of the nation outside of DC. It sounds like it probably even sounds petty to some people, but I know how real it is, right? If you move the Department of Agriculture to Wyoming, where they actually do agriculture, or the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, move it to Wyoming, right? Right where the cows at. It makes sense, right? You right there with an action. So the people who work there more than likely would be boots on the ground, right? Or people that have an interest that gets shipped to Wyoming. No longer now is it a political position, it's a government position, which is totally different, right? Being a post, technically, working at the post office is a government position, but it's not a political position. You understand what I'm saying? So moving things that has nothing to do with politics, but has to do with bureaucracy, how the government is run, outside of DC helps everybody do their job more efficiently. Because you can't tell me that the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Finance and the department of whatever the department is that does oil, monitor our oil reserves, that when they communicate as such, that man, they not fixing prices, they not bringing down corn so you don't have ethanol, gas. But anyway, it's a smart move, man. Keep shit separate. Anyway, but that ain't what I wanted to really talk about. It's coming.
They do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies, and then they want to take jobs from these companies. Doesn't work that way.
Yo, so that's been a huge problem. Shout out to that. That's been a huge problem. There's a representative from Procter and Gamble. Was it Procter and Gamble or was it Pfizer? Anyway, there's a representative on the pharmacy board, on the United States FDA board. How do you work for Pfizer and you got a position at FDA? There's remember the whole Enron thing was like that. One of the Enron reps was also part of the board for energy conservation. You know what I mean? So there's a conflict of interest there. And I'm all for conflict of interest as a small business owner. Shout out to me. Like, I guarantee you, like, I get a tribal warlord slot, I guarantee you I will rub shoulders with mayors and try to be on their street sanitation department board of directors, which is an appointed spot. It's not elected. And then everything I'll be like, yo, we need new soap dispensers, man, in all the federal and state buildings. Yo, we should use Nosha soap. I would definitely do that. I'm not above that shit. You think I'm crazy, nigga? I'm like, you been using this bullshit dish detergent. Use this Nosha soap, man. We gonna change all the soap container. Yes, I would do that. I would do that if they put me on a hotel board. Put me on the board of the Hilton. All the soap gonna be Nosha. Y'all gonna be selling little bitty soaps. It's gonna just have dirty folks in that motherfucker gangbanging. Of course you do that. That's why you, as a business owner, you try to get those positions. So, but on a federal level, when you're dealing with people that do international business, like the Waltons or something like that, you don't want them on a federal government level doing global business to have their business in that slot, because now you compromise based on what your economics are in France or in China. You're compromising America for your own personal benefit, right? Like Trump didn't make Trump Hotels the official hotel of emissaries. He stays at Trump hotels, which makes perfect sense because he Trump. But he didn't say, yo, everybody in the feds got to stay at Trump hotels when they go out of town, or you're gonna lose your contract. He didn't do that. It's a conflict of interest. Anyway,
A public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma. Finally, I will push a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state and restore government that is controlled by the people and for the people. Thank
man, shout out to that. Shout out to that. Shout out to that. And I don't know why the Senate doesn't have term limits anyway, but that's how he's trying to fight the deep state. Halliburton is another one. Halliburton was what they call it, a no bid contract from Dick Cheney. That's a perfect example. Man, shout out to you. Halliburton is a perfect example. On a local level, what's the name of that damn? Uh, it's a cafeteria company, Amarak, something like that. They do all the food for schools and jails. So no matter where you go, you're gonna have bullshit food. It just is what it is, right? But in Chicago, Mayor Daley had a side contract with Amarak and gave them a no bid so he can get a cut off every meal that goes into the prisons, right? So yeah, it happens all the time. Halliburton was a perfect on a federal level. That was a perfect example, though, man. Shout out to you, bro. Um, so here's the issue. I'm just telling you how we got to this point that they trying to dome the prayers, right? His ideals for America are nationalist ideas, right? Like our nation first, right? I'm not going to talk about MAGA, make America great. I'm just saying, if I live in America, I care about America. I may care about you too, Canada or Mexico or Jamaica, but I care about America first because this is where I live. Take care of home first. So while you listen to all the liberals going full global, he's like, yo, we're nationalists. Come on, man. My dad called me.
Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Dirty folks. No soul. No soul.
Call you back. You know what? Sometimes it's certain calls you gotta answer. That was my dad. I had to answer that one. My nerves, but I'm glad he alive. I mean, he's still a boomer. Don't get it twisted, right? But boomers are like rifles. This is my boomer. There are many boomers just like it, but this boomer is mine. So nah, that should go. Anyway, in an alternate timeline, right? In an alternate timeline, Barack Obama isn't so goddamn charming, right? In another timeline, he is not so charismatic, so endearing, so goddamn naturally funny. You know what I mean? And in that alternate timeline, he didn't treat his presidential dinner like a roast on Comedy Central. In an alternate timeline, Barack Obama was contrite, was humble. He is appreciative. I'm not gonna say he's not appreciative, but he would not have taken the time out to roast Donald Trump. This is the day. This day at this presidential correspondence dinner is the day that Donald Trump said to himself, fuck this, I'm running for president. People thought Trump didn't like Obama because Obama's black. That's not it, and he never said that was it. Donald Trump is a nationalist. He didn't dislike or distrust Barack Obama because Barack is black. He distrusted Barack because he's a birther. Somehow they made birthers illegal, right? Like you got to be born in America to be president of America. And he wanted to make sure that Obama was born in America. That's it. Now they pushing the button. They pushing it here and there. They're trying to get Canadians in. They've been trying to switch the qualification that you have to be born in America to be an American president, starting with Arnold Schwarzenegger. When Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California, before they realized they know what he was doing, he was so popular that they wanted him to be president, but he was born in Austria. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Austrian, so he could never be president. And they were trying to change the law for Schwarzenegger. So now you got Obama coming in, and they like, where he from? And he just was like, yo, show me the birth certificate. And they kept going through all this bullshit, trying to produce a birth certificate for this orphan black boy. Y'all know Obama an orphan, right? You hear the story. He was raised by his grandparents. Both of his parents abandoned him. His white mama and his Kenyan daddy both abandoned him. He's a foster kid at best. I won't say an orphan because it was his mother's parents. He's a foster kid at best. He got the Superman story, raised in Kansas, all that cool shit. But he's a foster kid at best. And they say, yo, where your birth certificate at? Where your papers at, boy? Right? I need papers. When I go to the doctor's office, they want my ID and they want my medical card. I need papers in order to get services, right? Got to show an ID to get in the club. You know what I mean? Why is it hindsight 2020? And at the time, I even said, like, what's the big deal? It was so historic that people understood it, but they ignored it. Like, yo, bro, you ain't got no birth certificate, nigga? Just show your birth certificate. We still proud of you, first black president. Yay! Where your birth certificate? So that's what Trump was mad about. Oh, in an alternate world, Obama didn't walk out the door talking shit to Trump about finally finding his birth certificate 8 years after he got in office, right? Like, you on your way out the door, my nigga. You a lame duck president. It's your last fucking correspondence dinner. You been in office 8 years already. On the last day of office, like, oh, you hit my homework, teacher. What? You graduating already. You crossing the stage. Oh, hit my homework from freshman year, teacher. What? That ain't even freshman year. Man, hit my science project from 6th grade. Think you're graduating from high school. Anyway, let's recap the moment that everything Obama was working toward. The Dream Act, the Gay Act, the New World Order policies. He was gonna do something for black boys, but black women fucked it up. But y'all, anyway, this ain't about Keisha today. Where everybody except black boys got a chance to keep the borders open, to move freely in their sexuality, actually put sexuality above policy and above race, right? Because if y'all was gonna get reparations, this was the time right here, right? All right. So anyway, let's check it out.
Others say that I'm arrogant, but I found a really great self-help tool for this: my poll numbers. I've even let down my key core constituency, movie stars. Just the other day, Matt Damon. I love Matt Damon. Love the guy. Matt Damon said he was disappointed in my performance. Well, Matt, I just saw the Adjustment Bureau, so right back at you, buddy. Michelle Bachmann is here, though, I understand, and she is thinking about running for president, which is weird because I hear she was born in Canada. Yes, Michelle, this is how it starts. Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
That's where it started. It started off with a ribbon. And Donald Trump said to himself, you think you better than me? Hold my beer, you know?
Hey y'all, Masters are coming. He's a coming, y'all. Masters are coming. Here he comes. Look, guys.
So, the first thing that happened, ironically enough, and I should have brought this up. I don't have a clip, but I'll tell you what happened. Hillary Clinton wanted to be president. I'm sure we all aware of that. You know, toddlers need a job too, right? And who she thought her biggest competitor was Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush was her biggest competition. You know, his dad was a president, his big brother was a president. You know, America, for everything they say, they act like they hate nepotism when, you know, black people do it. But they love an oligarchy, right? Because Americans really don't want democracy. They really want a king. We should bring him a king, but that's later. We're going to bring him a king. And they started a slander campaign against Trump. Actually, that's not true. They gave, it wasn't slander. Trump was saying wild shit, right? I ain't referring. He was saying wild shit, right? He was calling motherfucker low energy Jeb, and like he was just roasting people, right? Talking about Doug Chris Christie, Doug Christie, the basketball player, Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey, talking about, man, he ain't got no neck, all type of shit, right? He was roasting. People don't remember this, but Trump didn't really have any sponsors. He didn't have any backers. There was no corporatocracy behind Trump. Trump put up $5 million of his own money, which is not a lot of money to run for president, for ad space and things of that nature. $5 million for a national campaign, media marketing wise, is not a lot of money, right? Because you had people like Hillary Clinton that paid $100 million in ads, right? So $5 million is not a lot of money, but he had a good volunteer base, right? And he kept getting free media from Hillary Clinton because Hillary needed Donald Trump to defeat the Republicans that she could not. She had no way in the world she was going to defeat Jeb. None. She might not even defeated Christie at that time. But she sure wasn't going to be Jeb. She needed somebody to take down the Republicans, and then she figured Trump was such a shot in the dark that she could defeat Trump in a general election. Her plan worked to an extent. You know, she paid off all the correspondence. She paid off all the electoral voters, because technically she was winning states on electoral votes that Bernie Sanders was winning in popular vote during that primary, right? People don't want to remember that because Hillary can't do no wrong, but like she was buying voters. fast forward to Biden. Anyway, she was buying voters. So when she got to the general election, she didn't realize that her whole hot sauce in the purse and all the all the times that she had to capitulate to single women, like the pink haired and purple hair and green haired women. It's talking about women's rights and women could get abortions and women could work. The housewives was like, yeah, I don't really want to work like that, nigga. My husband worked. Right. So she lost the general election. I'm sorry. Yeah, she lost the general election by the same amount of married female votes, and she's a married woman. She was saying all that feminist, we don't need no man shit, and the very people who should have been her targeted demographic as the first lady, a married woman that married her college sweetheart, she should have been pushing that. Those married women was like, yo, we don't trust this bitch. Get up out of here, right? And then we get the Don. We get the Don from that, right? Not because he was most qualified, just because, fuck Hillary, right? Anyway, and that's when the slander started. All of a sudden, Donald Trump is getting kicked off Twitter. He's banned off Facebook. He had to drop a couple of dollars to make True Social just so he could have just so he could speak. Like, they's like, oh, he got too much media. Y'all don't realize this, but media companies would not play a Donald Trump commercial. If you guys think about the last election, how many Donald Trump commercials did you see? Think about it. They kicked him off all of his TV projects, so there's no more apprentice. They kicked him off the USA beauty pageant, which he was funding, by the way. Like, that was his shit, right? Like, they took away all of his opportunities to be visible. The only time you can see him is on the news, and then it depended on if it's Fox News, which leans right, or every other news, your local news, your national news that's left leaning, telling you how bad of a person he is, how racist he is, how much he's destroying the country. Meanwhile, y'all making more money than y'all ever made. Y'all got PPP loans that had y'all reelected them. You wouldn't have had to pay back. Biden the one indicting people for the PPP loans. Trump was like, let them live. All these things were happening. The most money you ever saw. Gas was reasonable. It didn't go back down to like $1.10, but it got down to like $2.50. You know what I mean? And people was like, you know what? But he's a racist because black girl said so. And that's where the slander start. They made, I tell you guys about logos and slogans. They made MAGA a symbol of racism.
And there's something dangerous happening in America now. There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy. The MAGA movement. Not every Republican, not even a majority of Republicans adhere to the MAGA extremist ideology. I know because I've been able to work with Republicans my whole career. But there's no question that today's Republican Party is driven and intimidated by MAGA Republican extremists.
Let me pause this real quick. I got to say this. What makes a MAGA, quote unquote, extremist any more extreme than the Tea Party? The Tea Party was a group of people, before they were a political party, they were just a group of people who leaned back on the Boston Tea Party, was like, yo, this taxation without representation, this is how we kicked off this nation. Like, y'all better chill. You better cool that shit out, right? Then they mobilized in such a way and they went local. So locally, they started electing people, twos and fews here and there, right? It wasn't a lot of elected Green Party officials, but they were noticeable, right? And they were gaining momentum. And politically, because, America loves a two-party system, the Republican Party started catering toward the conservative thoughts of the Green Party. Of the Tea Party. So while the Democrats was like, yo, purple hair gay people, we like them. Black women, they can't count. We like them. We're going to take math out of school because math is racist, right? We're going to take the Constitution out of school because, the Constitution is racist, right? It was made by some racists. They were slave owners. We're going to take everything that makes America, America, how we founded this nation. We comfortable now. Everybody can get a gun to protect themselves. Everybody can, get a job in IT so they don't have to do manual labor. We're not farmers anymore. And they lean that way. So the Republicans are kept honest by the Tea Party, which they absorb. Consequently, MAGA, which was not a political party, it was just a movement. MAGA could have just as easily become its own party, just like Black Lives Matter. I don't really see a difference between MAGA and Black Lives Matter or Antifa. It's funny how Antifa and Black Lives Matter are good people, but MAGA and the Proud Boys are bad people. People fighting for conservatism, people fighting for the Constitution. Liberals are strange like that. What do I know, right? But the attack on a phrase of MAGA, he's really went to war against apparel, my nigga. He's going to war against people that wear red hats and saying this is the most dangerous thing that happened in America. This is how your president gets shot. This is the propaganda games. I just wanted to bring that up because I still don't know how MAGA is extremist, but the Tea Party wasn't. Anyway.
This MAGA threat is a threat to the brick and mortar of our democratic institutions. But it's also a threat to the character of our nation. That gives our Constitution life. And now history has brought us to a new time of testing. Very few of us will ever be asked to endure what John McCain endured. But all of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy? Will we, as John wrote, never quit? Will we not hide from history, but make history? Will we put partisanship aside and put country first? I say we must, and we will.
Real quick, put partisan aside and put country first. This is the same. The Obama administration and the Biden administration have been at the head of two of the biggest looming natural disasters. I'm sorry, not natural disasters, man-made disasters. Natural disasters happen on Republican watch, by the way. I don't know why, right? Like Hurricane Sandy or the levees breaking and they flooding out New Orleans. Those always happen on Republican time. But man-made disasters, corporate disasters, all this EPT shit they talking about. We need to protect the environment. All those environmental dangers happen on Democrat watch, and they don't do anything. Flint, Michigan, that was Obama, right? That was 2015 when Flint, Michigan happened. Obama was in office in 2016. He had a year and a half to fix that shit. Didn't do nothing. Meanwhile, a couple of years ago, on Biden's watch, remember that big plume of toxic smoke that people said they saw? It started in Pennsylvania, but people said they saw it as far as Ohio. But Biden did very little. There's no drinking water down in certain places in Mississippi. Biden did nothing. So the man-made disasters that the government, whether state or federal, but the government is supposed to handle, hasn't been handled on their watch. So to say the bipartisan act to get America back straight, there's been more money for migrants and more money for foreign wars in the last 3 years than there's been money for the man-made EPA or disasters right here in America. That's crazy. Anyway.
We will.
One more clip I want to show y'all.
Senators Hoffman and Kern were indicted back in May, along with 16 other people, including this one.
That ain't it. last time they played, because I was on a auto roll. Last time they played a good one on the auto roll, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play that one out. But now they ain't do the same thing. So we just slow walking this, bro. Make sure y'all like as y'all come in, man. Do me a favor, man. Like as you come in, man. It's in your heart.
Hey, baby, how much do you need?
Much. Just enough for a new wig and a BBL.
Can dirty folks get some cash apps too, sir?
The next thing that happened to Trump, at this point, man, look, black is for women, gays, and felons, right? Black is for women, gays, and felons. So the next thing they did was bring the black girls out. Black girl magic. 92 counts. 96 counts? 90-something counts. Everybody that prosecuted Donald Trump was a black woman. 2 black women in Georgia. Not only a black woman prosecuted in New York, but for the first time ever, and they bragged about this, and I think I showed it, 4 black women at the appellate court. So even if he appealed the judgment, he can't win because even that's black women. That shit is bananas to me, bro. Bananas.
Hey y'all, Masters are coming. He's a coming, y'all. Masters are coming. Here he comes. Look, guys.
I may pull up that picture. I gotta find that picture. I'm looking for it in a minute. But this alternate lifestyle gentleman who looked like he got collagen shots in his lips, by the way. It's crazy. He's gonna explain why Trump's a bad man.
Former President Trump has been indicted a 4th time. In Georgia, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has brought 13 charges against the former.
You know what? Real quick. Don't it look like he got collagen shots, though? Is it just me? It ain't just me, right? Like he got collagen shots. But anyway.
Attorney Fani Willis has brought 13 charges against the former president over his alleged efforts to remain in power following the 2020 election. The indictment also notably lists 18 co-defendants in the case, including some of Trump's attorneys like Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and John Eastman, campaign officials, individuals who signed documents purporting to be Georgia's presidential electors, and people who are alleged to have involvement with a data breach in a county elections office. The 98-page indictment lays out a sprawling set of allegations, tied together by racketeering charges. Willis has charged each of the defendants with a racketeering charge under Georgia's RICO Act, which helps prosecutors paint a bigger picture of organized crime by weaving together various actions by multiple actors. Prosecutors say the conspiracy to help Trump remain in power after the election began right around Election Day and has extended as far as September of 2021.
Here's my problem with this. This is old news, right? But here's my thing right here. This part right here really confused me. Watch this.
Breach in account.
The data breach. How is Trump responsible for the data breach? The data is done by the voter, the voting board, which is supposed to be an independent, nonpartisan act. How do you blame somebody for a voter's breach when all you ask them to do is count the ballots? You said, man, I went to sleep last night. I was winning. I woke up and I lost by a landslide. How is that possible? When the polls close at 9 o'clock, how is it possible that at 2 in the morning I'm losing? Because you recount. That's everybody's right. You can do that running for your local school. You know what I mean? Trying to be the president of your school. You can do that. So you tarnish him as a. You said he's not a good businessman, even though he's a billionaire. You said that he's not a good leader, even though he's a captain of industry, and America is a corporatocracy. So a man who's been running corporations for 50 years all of a sudden can't run the corporation of America, which is hit and miss. I'm not going to say it's not, but to say that it's impossible to do from people who only had elected positions, who have never owned a business, who have never had to deal with a payroll. That's why the budget not balanced. A bunch of elected people who have never had to do a payroll saying that, yo, you can't balance the budget. And he didn't. But not for lack of trying, right? So you go through all this, but then it gets down to slander, right? You slander everything about him. MAGA's dangerous. Everything he represents is anti-American. Then you get to lawsuits. There's something that that the comedian, I ain't pull it up because I couldn't think his name to just now. The comedian Eddie Griffin said he was talking about the Bill Cosby and black actors in general. He said first they pump you up, then they defame your character, then they make your supporters hate you, then they try to get you arrested, then they try to break you, which is the Trump civil suit, right? The $100-some odd million he had to pay somebody. Then they try to break you, and if that doesn't work, then they. Eddie Griffin said this 5 or 6 years ago about Bill Cosby when he was talking about, man, no black man gets to leave Hollywood clean. Remember that? For those who saw that, Donald Trump is going through the same ritual. That same ritual. Puffy going through the same ritual right now. But Donald Trump going through the same ritual. You are up until you got my business. Now we're going to slander your name. We're going to make people hate you. Because once people hate you, they don't care what happens to you. We're going to make people hate you. Then we're going to break you. Then if we can't break you, then we're going to arrest you because we want you as broke as possible so you can't bond out. We're going to break you, then we're going to arrest you. And then if that don't work, we're going to delete you. Trump is going through the entire hero's journey. Hopefully, though, it ends in triumph, right? Hopefully it ends like Odysseus and not like Tyrone, right? And then, after all that happens, bang, bang. I'm not gonna really talk about that too much, man. Y'all seen a lot of footage on that. I'm not gonna relive yesterday's. I've seen about 6 streams on that. I want to talk about what happens right after that. Right after that, the next thing they do is they blame Trump's criminal behavior on black people. You can't make this shit up, man. You cannot make it up, bro.
Hell no, to the no, no, no.
In a now deleted article, Forbes had an article asking whether Trump surviving an assassination attempt will be his next appeal to black voters. They are saying that you're nothing but criminals, black man. Y'all saying it too. Come on, Trump a real nigga. He went to jail. He got shot. He a real nigga. Why do you think so little of yourself, bro? Why? Why? That's why I don't trust y'all niggas, bro.
Hey, y'all! Masters are coming! He's a coming, y'all! Masters are coming! Here we come! Look, guys,
Let somebody else give their worldview on you and you accept it. They call you the criminal class, then laugh. It's crazy. So, the article was about, but they deleted the article because, it was racist. It was racist. But, I wish I could take this ad off, but I can't. Forbes deleted an opinion article on Sunday asking what, today's Sunday, by the way. They wrote it today and they deleted it today. That's crazy, bro. But Forbes deleted an opinion article on Sunday asking whether former President Donald Trump surviving an assassination attempt will help him appeal to black voters. That's racist. Anyway, Forbes contributor Sean Harper, I want to find out who Sean Harper is now. I want to know who Sean Harper is, man. I'm curious. PhD at Southern Cal. We're gonna look him up. Sean Harper, Division of Equity and Inclusion. Oh yeah, Sean Harper's he a social justice warrior. He is a social justice warrior. Sean might be a she. I don't know, man. The way it's spelled, it might be a boy. Yeah, we gonna come back to that. I want to find out who Sean Harper is. We gonna investigate that. Former contributor Sean Harper, who serves as a tenured professor and was described by Forbes as a DEI expert. Nigga.
My congeniality is fucked. I have no sensors, and I need to be stopped.
These motherfuckers. Oh my god. Anyway, wrote the article, which bore the headline, "Will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters?" The piece appeared to suggest that black Americans are more likely to be involved in shootings and therefore would sympathize with the presumptive GOP nominee following an assassination attempt. They called you niggas killers. Shout out to Christopher, man. He said journalism is broken. Somebody else said just casual racism for Forbes, no biggie. Yo, that's facts, bro. Like, the pushback made him delete the article, right? I want to go back to who Sean is, though. I'm just curious on if Sean Harper's a black man or a white woman. Because he can go either way. He can go either way, spelled like that. I want to know. That ain't Sean. Let's go back to images. That might have been Sean. My bad, shit. My bad, Sean. This man, he got a mustache. That don't mean he's straight, but he got a mustache. He probably a foreigner though. He don't look like an American black. Goddamn Africans always yelling racism. That's why we got Joy Reid. And he do DEI, and DEI is normally for women and gays. So it's a huge possibility he a black gay, because that's what DEI for women and gays, so they can get jobs they're not qualified for. So now you get think pieces and op pieces like that, right? Now you get the opportunity for people to come out and try to tell you that you are the criminal class, to tell you that you are you should, if you black, you should be happy with the subversion tactic of black is an American because blacks don't act American. So man, if black people like Trump, then white people shouldn't. All this is a mind fuck. And I say all that to say this. All of this is because they're trying to usher in this NWO. Trump is getting in the way of them destroying the nation, bringing in criminals and calling them migrants. I'm telling you, bro, that the crime that's happening from these goddamn migrants, bro, they fighting police, they robbing old people, bro. Like, bruh, these motherfuckers is outrageous, bro. And it's not checked because America has an immigration policy. You only let X amount of people in, per year. And then it's mostly qualified people, student visas, work visas, things of that nature. Opening up the borders, letting anybody come in, giving them food stamps, giving them cribs, giving them money, trying to buy a vote. This is a psyop of major proportion. It is a war against heterosexual men. It's not even a war against black men. They're just using you as the face of dumb shit. It is the war against heterosexual men so that they can bring in the do as thou wilt. You will own nothing and be happy. They're going to make everybody a Section 8 bitch, my nigga. Everybody going to be a Section 8 bitch. And man, we're going to have to tribe up. Anyway, I appreciate y'all sliding through, man. That was just on my heart. I wanted to wait until we got all the information in. And then after I saw all the information about the shooting, I was like, he lived though, And it's great op-eds out there, man. But I want to go to the root of the problem. Everybody tell you about what happened today. The root of the problem is they're trying to subjugate America. They're trying to outsource all of our wealth, make America a second-class nation, which educationally we probably 43, so it's not gonna be that hard to do because niggas can't read, and take away the natural resources and treat us like Africa. People don't understand that America feeds the world. Most of the agriculture of the world comes from America. A lot of raw materials come from America, but they're trying to make America like Africa, that people can come through, take what they want, and take it back home with them, so their nation can be big and you'll be fucked up. And the only problem that America had is when we started to prosper after World War II, because America was not a superpower until after World War II. Once we started to prosper after World War II, the next people in line was the motherfucking baby boomers, bro. And they fucking up everything they touch. They fuck up family, they fuck up marriages, they fuck up drugs, they fuck up money, they fuck up real estate, and now they fucking up government. And these motherfuckers won't retire. I'm with Trump, man. We gotta make America great again. For whatever the greatness that we can get out of that shit, bro. Anyway, as always, man, I appreciate y'all sliding through, man. Love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack. Tribe up.
Welcome to the Daycare. Welcome to the Daycare. Welcome to the Daycare. Welcome to the Daycare. Stay away from cities with dyke mayors. They spray the pipes major. Don't play with your life, player, or shake the dice, player. But if you got a quarter, then stay away from toddlers. These bitches are fight promoters. Welcome to the Daycare. Welcome to the Daycare. Welcome to the Daycare. Welcome to the Daycare. Train your toddler. Please train your toddler. Whippings, timeouts, take her allowance. Cause or she will destroy your life if you allow